Welcome back to Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm Dear Darling. I should see what's going on our lovely island of Fawnhallow today, where, whoa, the series came out today. Whoa, it's Stray. So we can finally talk about it, I suppose, a little bit. It's a very weird one drawing a thumbnail art for this one because I actually spent a lot. I was like, I want to draw this. I want to play this game. Been on my radar for ages, but it's one where I spent like a really long time thinking. Like after I chose a game, I was like, how am I going to draw this thumbnail art? Because how do I draw just D as a cat? And the answer is you can't in a good way, but I don't know. Good evening, everyone. Right now in Fawnhallow, it's 11:59 PM on Saturday, August 17th, 2024. Yeah, I mean, just to talk a little bit about it, because Stray has this sort of like cyber... I'm not sure, is it quite cyberpunk or is it like a cyberscape, I suppose? Because it's not that punky, right? But anyway, it's a cyber city, like a post-apocalyptic sort of thing. So it's like, okay, got to get that vibes, and Dee's also got to be a cat somehow. I'm like, I'm not going to transform her into a cat. Well, I mean, I guess I could. I guess an option actually would have been to draw her as like a straight up like an animal deer rather than like an anthropomorphized one. Honestly, that didn't cross my mind until just now, but nonetheless, here we are. Don't turn away now. Let's go see who's in the campsite as well. I know it's been a while since we really walked around our little island. Feels very cursed doing it backwards as well. But yeah, eventually I was just like, okay, I want to do a thing similar to Baba's You, but I can't really just stick her in a onesie because that really doesn't fit the Ken, right? And I was like, that really doesn't fit her the aesthetic of a game. So I was just like, we're going to have to do something different. So eventually I went with like the sort of tech wear kind of outfit. She kind of looks like a cat burglar. Does it really work? Does it really convey the concept of Stray? Kind of, I think. I think it's a hard one to get like a good representation using the sort of like criteria I do of like it has to be D and it has to feel like a photo shoot in a sense which it doesn't change her that much unless I really have to for like the game aesthetic. Like I'm trying to think of the previous thumbnails, like when have I actually transformed D the most, and the one that comes to mind is probably Cuphead and Ori, but Cuphead is more of like a stylistic transformation, so it still kind of fits, and Ori is just kind of like a... Actually, Ori was an interesting one because originally I put her in a costume. I put it as D. D, if you don't know, is the deer character you see in all my thumbnails. Why do we have so many presents? I guess we must have been playing super late that we haven't seen Tortimer for a while. But yeah, I was gonna put her like in like an outfit pretending to be Ori. Like she had like a white like jumpsuit on basically, and like long gloves and like socks, and I was like, what's the point of doing this when I could just turn her into it? Like it feels like a much more natural... Like, Ori is someone of which you can superimpose, like, it's sort of just like D, like, I don't know, dyed all her fur white or something. There's so many weeds about the place. Gotta clear them up. So yeah, that's kind of like Ori's transformation. I can't think of any other one which has a big transformation, but like, transforming into a cat felt like a bit much. Or at least I didn't know exactly how I'd... I mean, in retrospect, what I could have done is I could have just... Oh my word, so many weeds. Could have drawn a cat and just given the cat D's eyes, and maybe that would have worked, but we got a sort of consistency now to it, you know. We need a recognisable D at the end of the day, because I think that's certainly a unique point about the thumbnail arts I draw. Anyway, it's a bit rushed one, so you know, definitely don't look too close at how I rendered things. I rendered things just like using like a soft regular watercolor brush and a bit of airbrushing here, but like really quickly I was just like slapping on colors because I was like, this was meant to, you know, be uploaded like an hour ago or something. Oh, heard of shooting stars. Yeah, it's just hard to find the time, you know, to do things sometimes, and sometimes that deadline's what you need to kick it into gear. But honestly, the thumbnail arts, like the conception of the thumbnail arts, is very much a fun, like one of the funnest parts for me. It's coming up with ideas of like outfits of like, how am I going to portray this game with this like concept for D? And the answer is sometimes it's quite difficult. I have noticed I've resorted back to running around my island this way round rather than backwards again. So you know, it's one of my favourite parts, I think, to make up outfits and try and like make them work in the end. You know, it's just a time to have some sort of reflection, I suppose, on the thumbnail arts I've done. I do have like a little thing where I've put all of them in. Oh, you know, and I guess we can also put Stray in right now because I've finished Strays. I have a collection of all of them. It should be. Like, does this have Paradise Killer in? It does have Paradise Killer in. Wonderful. Yeah, like a lot of them I just sort of like lift the outfit, why did I say like that? The outfit directly from the game. A Short Hike is pretty similar to what is in the game, except for the character in the game's a penguin, so I just gave her... See, the thing is, I should have definitely given her tights. If I'm to critique like my own work, you know, in the early days of costuming, I gave her a lot of thigh highs, like long socks, and that's mainly because I just like kind of wear long socks. I don't wear... Back in the day, I didn't really wear tights as much because I don't really know. I guess I found them more inconvenient than socks, to be honest. But now I wear both, so I don't know, it doesn't really matter. Actually, I did kind of wear tights back in... Whoa! KK Slider's gone, because it's past midnight, I guess. But she probably... If I were to do this one again, I would have made it like she's wearing tights and she would just be wearing like a long sleeve top underneath the dress, or I would have done like a 2-in-1 sort of dress, like a red like body piece with like black sleeves. That would have worked. Anna Cute's lifted directly from the game. It's just a t-shirt with like black trousers, fair enough. The Animal Crossing one, I mean, all of these are sort of like lifted from the game design outfits, aren't they? So pretty fun ones to conceive of the idea on. And then finally breaking away on the most recent thumbnail out of using things directly from the game. I wonder what I'm going to do next year. I'm going to have to start thinking about that. Barbara's You is the one I was talking about, where it's just like, I can't turn Dee into Baba, but I can put her in like in a Baba onesie, and I think it sort of translates pretty well. Especially because Barbara's You has like a pretty cute style, I think, in the first place, so, you know, it just kind of works. Beacon Pines lifted directly from the game. Also, now I'm looking at it, that's a pretty like faithful recreation, I suppose, of the art style, all things considered. I mean, don't look at like her lower half, where apparently I've done no shading whatsoever, but the top half, that's pretty good. Oh, Bug Fables, that's a throwback one. Again, like, I don't know, like, it's whenever the character has different kind of like arms and legs, I'm like, what do I do? And just give her like long boots or high highs or long gloves, which, you know, works sometimes, but sometimes it's sort of just like, you don't need to do that. Just like either leave it blank or do something a bit more interesting, right? Come on, past me. Do an all-in-one dress. Bug Snacks, that's just lifted directly from a game. Translated pretty well. Ah, so Celeste was a great one. See, sometimes you get like we sort of like flashes of inspiration of like a really creative idea, which just works. And if you've seen Celeste's like splash art, Madeline has like her long orange hair which trails behind her, which is, you know, a fantastic sort of identity for the character. You know, it's very iconic for her, you know, blue sort of like Parker, orange hair trailing behind. Really good, the fantastic choice in the game Celeste, because it's a platforming game. It really shows the sort of like the movement of your character, because, you know, like it's sort of like, well, what's it called, like jiggle boned or something? It's like, it like has follow through as it goes behind, you know, she stops, her hair catches up afterwards. It really like sells the momentum of it. But of course Dee doesn't have hair, so it's just like, how am I going to do that? Brilliant idea. Past me. Orange scarf. Orange scarf to represent Madeline's hair is like honestly a top tier idea. I think this might have been the first one I did in Clip Studio Paint as well. Or one of the first ones. Chicken Police, this one was kind of lifted from a game. I think if I did this one now, I'm not actually sure if I would have drawn this outfit. Like, I remember I did a vote in the server being like, should I draw like her night outfit or should I draw her performing outfit? If I were to do it now, I probably would have just drawn like her performing outfit or something. But I'm not upset at doing this one, because actually that's like some nice shading over here on the dress. And like her performing outfit had like a really like mind-numbing pattern. I think it would have been to draw. The head angle was a bit wrong on this one, actually, now I look at it as well. Like, you shouldn't see that much of the eye, but whatever. Chokri was one almost lifted directly from the game. I think I just made some adaptations to make it fit Dee and gave her shoes, right? Honestly, looks pretty good. That's a really fun thumbnail art. The Cosmic Express has no base on anything in game, because everything in game, they're just aliens, right? I think the only slight thing is based off is the train driver, but I can't, no, I don't. No, the train driver, yeah, has like, it's like this black, like oval shape or something. So I gave her like a black top, I think was the only thing. But apart from that, it's just sort of like based off a train, I don't know. Like a sort of like old like steam train driver, steam worker or something. Do they actually look like this? I don't know. Just kind of using colours from the games. I cut her head to Ms. Chalice. It's another very sort of clever thing, where it's like giving her a hat, giving her this like ribbon thing to represent like the chalice's like handles. I think I was meant to do one on each side, but I don't know why I only did it on one side. And the hat kind of like gives that sort of feeling of chalice as well. It's probably one of the biggest stylistic changes. Looks pretty good though. Oh, Death's Door. This is another one. Like, I didn't realize how many times I did this when I play like an animal character who was not an anthropomorphic deer in the game. You had to like change it up. This one's actually a pretty nice one. It's sort of like a weird fantasy like capelet sort of thing to give the impression of this bird. And this one actually quite nicely fits the aesthetic of the game, I suppose. It's sort of like dark, dreary bleakness. The first one's a bit strange. Again, you can see as the fire highs in the gloves and that sort of thing, but I think the simplistic outfit works kind of well. Honestly, I could have done anything, to be honest, but having this sort of more like an athleisure sort of stylings, I think actually is kind of nice. I don't know why I did these puffed up shoulders. It's certainly a bit strange, but just like, yeah, simple top, simple shorts. I don't know, maybe I was going for something here. Goodbye Volcano High, lifted directly from a game. Translated pretty well, to be honest. Anthropomorphic animals translates well. Grim Fandango also lifted. Skeleton mask as well. I wonder if I would have done it the same. I wonder if I drew this now, would I have done the same, or would I have made it a face paint instead of a mask? I don't know. I think I would have probably done it the same. It's not like my thought process has changed that differently, to be honest. Heaven's Vault lifted directly from a game. Here Comes Nico also lifted pretty closely to the game. This is another thing where, like, whenever the main character has hair and I want to try and, like, translate it to D, I just give, like, a hair accessory, which accentuates it. So Nico, of course, has, like, this sort of, like, messy yellow hair, but I just gave D a yellow bow to do that instead. Actually, this wards particle effect near the front's actually quite fun. Hollow Knight, I remember this one. This one's like adapted from a game. Hard one to adapt from a game, I suppose, but mask and flowy cloak thing. I remember being so happy with this one when I did it. Kind Words. I don't know what Kind Words one was based off. I think it was just based off a colour scheme. Oh, but the hat was based off... Oh, no, this was it. The hat was based off the hat that's worn by L or something. The deer in the game who delivers you letters. And then the headphones was based off the chill lo-fi beats to relax study to girls' headphones. I remember that. Kukiyomi's just lifted from a game, I guess. Later Alligator's just a... No, that's also taken from a game, isn't it? Because you see your pinstripe suit at some point, I think. Interesting. I also faded the colours here to match, I think. You know, sometimes I put a lot more effort into these photos than I realised. I feel like the more recent ones, I feel like I'm just sort of doing much more quickly and loosely, but in reflection, I'm probably just doing it more subconsciously now, rather than having more conscious thoughts about it, right? Something feels a bit weird off with a line out here, but I don't know, it's probably because there's no weight difference. Maybe because there isn't any in the actual art style, I don't remember. The Life is Strange True Colours one is actually really good. Like, I don't remember how long I spent on it, but it's genuinely like a really good rendering. It's probably the best lineless rendering I've ever done. I must have spent a really long time on it or something. It's genuinely really good. For past me. Even for current me, if I did this, I'd be like, yeah, that's amazing. Anyway, that's lifted directly from a game, isn't it? Little Nightmares also lifted similarly from a game. And honestly kind of faithful to it. Little Nightmares 2, I think also from a game? It was a bit weird, I remember, doing the paper bag head over these ears. It's a thing with hats and hoods with anthropomorphic animals which have these big ears. It's always very difficult to figure out how they should interact with hats in the first place. You know? Like, do they have holes which poke out? Most of the time I do it like such as holes, so such a poke out, but then there'll be like, either it makes sense that you'd slip it on through the holes in the first place, or there's like a little fastener thing where you'd undo the fastener, put it in the hole and do the fasten it above. Omari is taken directly from the game. Oh, One Shot. This is one which I think is one of the best sort of adherences to the style. And the outfit itself was, I think, taken from the game. The only thing was that because Nico has... That's a character's name, right, Nico? Or am I making this up? I can't remember anymore. Has like these sort of like whiskery things which like have this sort of like hairstyle which juts out to the side. I put like these, I don't even know what these are. Feathery, flowery petal things behind his head. This is a very good adherence to the art style. Oh, Kami. Oh, Kami is actually quite a transformative one as well. But this one just kind of makes sense to change your fur to look like this, right? Actually, in retrospect, I don't know why I didn't change Dee's fur to look like the tabby cat's fur in the stray one. I guess if I were to say it's because she's in an outfit anyway. You can have a Mario one as well. I guess it's because it's close enough, but I didn't. But I could have, to be honest. I could have just given her the tabby cat markings. Might have made sense, but I think maybe it wouldn't have read very well. Now I think about it. No, this Mario one's actually pretty good. Forgot about that one. Opus Magnum. I think this is also taken from the game. I think at some point you do actually see the main character's outfit, and I think I kind of did that or something. I don't know why her fingernails are so long, but whatever. Ori and the Will-O-Wisp is a very transformative one. Just to sort of fit the ethereal glow, right? So maybe I should have done the transformation with Stray. In retrospect, maybe I should have at least given her like the tabby cat patterns, but oh well. You live, you learn. Paradise Killet's also a pretty good one. It helps that the goat character translates pretty well to D, to be honest. Pyre. Oh, Pyre was an interesting one because this is one, it's based off the outfits in the game, but I created a whole new outfit for D, one which I thought made sense because you don't actually see your main character in the game, right? So I took inspiration from ones we saw before and was like, okay, let's try and make an outfit which fits the world but also is different enough from all the other ones. So the swishy cape thing, I think they all had a cape, but it's also like this sort of like tunic-esque dress with like the corset in the middle. Railbound's taken from a game, I believe. Raccoon's taken from a game. Return of the Obra Dinn. I don't know what was based off. I think this is just based off like a trench coat or something. I'm not sure what the sort of like ascot. It's not even an ascot. The sort of like ribbon tied around her neck is. I don't know. Only the gloves and pocket watch is really taken from the game, right? Oh, Snakebird Primer, of course. The sort of sweater to try and mimic the snake birds themselves. Their sort of patterns. And then the little... And then the ribbon at the top to try and sort of mimic the snake birds, like little tufts of hair. Spirit Fair. The first one I did the art time, that's all I remember. Just taken directly from the game from Stan. Steven's Sausage Roll is kind of taken from the game. Like he's got like a red top and black trousers on. But I just made up some shoes using the rest of the colour palette, and Steven in the game has like this giant, like big old yellow head, which I just gave a hat for. It's quite a cute one. Although I think her face is definitely too wide. Now I look at it. Stray one we just done. Yeah, I probably should have given her the tabby stripes. I don't know why I didn't. I guess I still can. Nah, I'll leave it as it is. I guess because the clothing is kind of like the part which is conveying the character, rather than D herself, which is different from Okami and Ori, where it's like the character itself is like she's transformed into a character. This one is very much like she's sort of dressed up with a character. Because I drew the character as well, is probably why, now I think about it. I subconsciously didn't do the patterns as well. Oh no, it's okay. It definitely looks, like, the shading of it definitely looks off the more I look at it. Probably because everything is so soft, because I used an airbrush and a very soft watercolour brush. There's also, like, I can see how messy the ears are, but oh well. Let's not look too closely at them. I don't know why I drew that ears backwards. That ear... I do it very often where I draw one ear forward and the other ear backwards. I don't know why I did that one backwards. In this case, it definitely should have been forward, but whatever. Tangled Hair. I think this was almost exactly lifted from a game. Something like that. Talos Principle was quite a difficult one. Try and figure out how to do. That's also quite a transformative one. I didn't think about that. I don't know what the justification for these eyes were. The reflection of the eyes. I'm sure I had some sort of meaning behind them. Don't remember it anymore. Talos Principle 2. This was quite rushed when I remember this. It looks a lot better shrunk down than it does blown up now I'm looking at it, but... Witness. I think Witness 1 was based off nothing. And also it doesn't make sense. I'm missing a bit of a hoodie there. I don't know, it's just like a very casual outfit. Tunics lifted from the game. Oh, this is another case where I did a similar thing with Celeste, where it's just like, oh, the tunic character has a tail. I don't know why I gave her 2 tails instead of just making the scarf 1 tail. Is that what it looks? Oh, maybe the tunic one has a scarf and a tail? Tunic. Tunic game. No, it's just got 1 tail. I don't know why I did this. Maybe because I wanted the 2 tails to overlap the 2 scarf tails to make it look like 1 tail, but I don't think it translated as well as Celeste's did. unpacking. This one I probably should have done more transformative in retrospect. I probably should have just made the like straight up a pink version of herself. I don't know what my motivations are for some of these. Some of them it's like they should be transformative, and sometimes I'm just like, no, it shouldn't be. I don't know. It's interesting. You know, it's nice to have these reflections on it, so now I can actually probably look and be like, okay, next time there's the opportunity for something more transformative, it's not breaking any rules to actually transform her or anything like that, so might as well. Anyway, I don't know. Thumbnail outfit reflections, I guess, is what today is. It's been a while since we had a self-indulgent one. Today's a self-indulgent day, because I was going to record some stuff for today. I ended up not recording anything, because I just couldn't be bothered. So I guess that'll be tomorrow, next week sort of thing. Especially because I'm going on holiday, but alas. Anyway, if you have been watching, thank you very much. It's been Animal Crossing New Horizons. I've been Dear Darling. Likes, comments, subscription, shares, greatly appreciated. Socials, Discord down below. Hope you see each other again, but for now, it's our farewell. So until next time, bye-bye for now.